Welcome back to Witchtober. Today is day 25. We're almost done with this series. So pretty much, I think I have one more tag video coming and then the rest are gonna mostly be Samhain themed, but I figured we're gonna get at least one going here. So my Samhain plans for this year. As I have mentioned many years of this one in particular, I kind of do the same thing every year. So I have a couple things that I'm doing a little different. So first of all, I will be doing the rituals from my book, shameless plug. Oh yeah, you bet it. Turning the Wheel. I have some rituals for Samhain. I wrote them because I want to do them, and I have done them, so they're there. I'm going to be doing those. And so that is what I'm gonna do. Don't worry, we're gonna have more of a video obviously, but truly that's kind of the ritual-y parts that I'm going to be doing. The big thing is mostly with the ancestors. Of course we have trick-or-treaters, so the day of Halloween we're gonna be doing trick-or-treaters. And then I usually before then will be probably by the time you see this I've already done it actually. Because again, I record these in advance because I'm trying to get ahead of my schedule of life. So here we are. It's early October, today's the 12th right now that I'm recording this, but by the time you see this, I might have already done it. Probably have, and that is to visit my family graves. So I do this every year. I used to do it on the day of Halloween. We have substantially ran out of time for that. You also can't even do it in one day anymore. We have a lot, so we split it up over a few different days, and that is my highlight every year. And that sounds so weird and so morbid, but it is a huge thing for me. I celebrate the ancestors very much more in a Dia de los Muertos kind of vibe, and I'm trying to incorporate more of those things. Of course, a lot of the Day of the Dead things have a bit more of a Christian tilt to it. You know, when you see the altars set up, it usually is a little more Christian and stuff, and I don't have it exactly as they say to do it, but a lot of the core of that practice I love it so much. I've gotten a permission slip by a few different people, so don't come at me. I still try and do it the way they say, but in my own way as well. But I love that celebration. So I kind of bring that energy more to my ancestor work. It's not this somber, quiet, depressing shit that you see with witches. It's fun. I'm visiting my family. Like, I would not be this like quiet, sad meh about it. Like, we're gonna just be our usual selves. And so one of the things that I'm making this year, and I don't know if I made a video about that, but also I don't know how I would show you how to do it without showing you how to do it. And it is one of the things in my book. But I'm making the ancestor binder. So I have my binder picked out, and I'm going to print off all of the obituaries that we have for all of the people. And then I'm going to try, when we visit, to write down, at least have, if we know the people, to write down about at least one story per person, even if it's second-handed stories and stuff, because a lot of my husband's family we don't know. Like his grandparents on his paternal side, we don't really know them at all. They passed before I really came into the picture. But like, we've got family that like have died before we were born, and so to write down what we know of like passed down stories and different things and like little snippets, and putting those, writing them down and then printing them off and putting them in the ancestor book, so that when we have kids in hopefully a few years-ish, buy my books so I can afford them, and then I can pass that along to them so they know their ancestors. And so that's something we're going to be starting this year, is actually doing it. I'm actually going to make the book and print off the obituaries, put them in there, try and find photos of them, put them in, and have a binder for them. And I'm probably going to organize it. And I hadn't thought about this. I should have included that in the book. See, that's the thing with an author brain. You always think of something you should have added. When I do, if I ever do like a rendition of it for like a 20th anniversary or blah blah blah, maybe I'll include that. But like, just as an FYI, when you make an ancestor binder, get a printout of the fucking cemetery and mark where your person is. You think you're gonna remember. You will not. You will not remember unless there's a big landmark, and even then sometimes those change. Get a map, mark where they are, and if you have multiples in the cemetery, same thing, mark where they're at so that it's there and you can find them, because it takes so much time. There's one cemetery that we go to every year, every single year. I'm like, actually there's two. There's one on my side and one on husband's side that we're like, where are you? because we meander so much, and it's so awkward because like one of them is the veteran cemetery, and a lot of times they have funerals going on and you're like, I am so sorry, I don't know where our person is and you're busy, so don't mind us just meandering, these witches just like tootling through the cemetery, it's fine. So yeah, it's great. Get a map, mark it out, figure out how you're gonna find them. Also, I am planning to do this, which is similar to the 13 days of Yule, but it's a little different. For 13 days leading up to Samhain, as of right now it hasn't started. I think it starts on like the 19th, I think, probably starting then. I will be doing a daily offering at the altar for all of the ancestors because there's quite a few that don't have a spot to go to. They don't have graves, we don't have their ashes, they're in different states. So we are going to have the ancestor altar going for all of them, but also like a little extra nudge towards those that we cannot visit and those that we don't know about too, because our trees only go back so far that we know of. Next is I am going to be making the Charming Pixie Flora like pumpkin skull bread. I haven't made that in years and it is so good. And I crave it every year, and every year I'm like, I don't know. And then I just don't. And this year I'm doing it. I'm making it. I'm going to make it for probably Samhain Day. And then we will munch on that all day. Or maybe when we visit the graves, maybe that'll be our snack that we bring. Because we always usually bring something. Ooh, maybe if I make them small. I don't know what I'm gonna plan to do specifically. I know I'm making that. How that ends up being, it'll be in the Samhain vlog for patrons, but yeah, something like that. But I want to make that bread because it was so good. And then lastly, of course, I'm going to be carving pumpkins. I do that every year. You gotta do pumpkins for Halloween. And I'm going to do my ritual that I talk about in Turning the Wheel as my kind of full circle thing of being a witch and doing the stuff that you're supposed to do. And so yeah, and also just slight nudging for my book. It's not doing particularly great, so. But yeah, other than that, then just do trick-or-treats, and then come November 1st, it all comes down and out comes Yule. Because I am that person. I need 2 months for each. I usually start Halloween at September. Sorry to Mabon. I try, but you get overshadowed. For Yule, it's like the second the clock turns, the Mariah Carey song begins in the background, and we take all of the Halloween down, and out comes the tree, and then I start singing along to the Grinch, and it's great. So I'm ready for Yule. To be honest, I'm actually moving more towards loving Yule more than Samhain, which is wild. I was the Halloween obsessed kid, and now I'm moving to liking Yule more. Other than the snow, I really hate the snow, but I love the gift giving more. And like, honestly, as an adult, Halloween's pretty boring. Like, I do a lot with my ancestors, but that's like the big thing to do, that's it. Like, we don't have like friends parties to go to or anything. And like, as an adult, like handing out candy is kind of really lame and boring. And like, we don't have that many trick-or-treaters either. Like, it might be different if you had a big community to like celebrate with and like really pump each other up, but we don't have that. And so it's gotten so boring, and I've tried to cling to that magic for so long, and I'm like, this year I'm like, it's whatever. Like, I just spend a lot of time with the ancestors, and then I move on, and that's it. So anyways, I'm losing my battery. I'm gonna go. Thank you to my patrons, and until next time, bless be.